G'day, welcome to Todd's Kitchen. Sourdough is definitely one of those old-time recipes that everyone loves. It's as old as time itself almost. It is so good, so delicious, so unhealthy. So I'm going to make a different version so you can still enjoy it, but without the carbs. So it tastes pretty much the same, but it's a lot healthier version too. So join me today as I make my version of a keto sourdough. Now we're going to start this off by placing all of our wet ingredients into a mixing bowl. So into a mixing bowl, I'm going to place the egg whites of 6 eggs into a mixing bowl. Now these are 6 large eggs. And honestly, why do they call them egg whites? They're actually yellowish or clearish, which I've always found interesting as a recipe. Why do they call it white when it's actually clear or yellow? Then to those 6 large egg whites, or clears, I'm going to add 2 additional large eggs. So 2 large eggs plus 6 egg whites. And then to that, 3/4 cup of milk, followed by 1/2 cup of warm water, and lastly 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Okay, so next I'm going to place a sifter on top. So we're going to sift some of these ingredients just to get the lumps out. So we're going to use 1.5 cups of almond flour. And as you can see, we're not using a lot, so it's very low in carbs. So I'm going to add 1.5 cups of our almond flour and some coconut flour. And again, per serving, this is also very low in carbs, and all these ingredients are gluten-free as well. 1/2 cup of our coconut flour, and we're going to use some flaxseed meal. Now there's actually 2 different types, but they're basically exactly the same, which is kind of weird because as you'll see, the golden one is actually better for you carb-wise than the regular one. So as you can see on the golden one, it's 7% carbs compared to the regular one, which is 15% carbs. So it's actually half the amount of carbs, but exactly the same product. Now look at the ingredients, they're exactly the same. The only difference is this one says organic. So honestly, I don't know why. So if you know why the organic golden flaxseed is better than the regular flaxseed for carbs, please let me know in the comments below. So I bought the regular flaxseed just so I can show you the difference. But for this recipe, I'm going to use the golden one, simply because it's lower in carbs, or half the carbs compared to the regular flaxseed. And I'm going to use 1/2 cup of our golden flaxseed meal, a teaspoon of bicarb soda or baking soda, a teaspoon of salt just to enhance all those flavors, and just be sifted through into our wet ingredients until everything is, well, nicely sifted, just so I can get all those lumps out. Plus it also helps combine the dry ingredients at the same time as we're doing it. For our final ingredients, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of silicon husk. Now I didn't put this in with the sieve, simply because it's a thicker texture and it's just not going to go through. What we have to do is with the hand mixer or stand mixer, we're just going to mix this through until everything is well combined. Okay, so we've got our mixture and it's well combined, but I haven't over mixed it. You want to be careful not to do that, otherwise it's too dry. And I've also got a baking tray lined with some non-stick parchment paper. So we're just going to grab our mix, which should be just one big ball. Should be able to just dump it straight on. And we just basically want to shape it into our desired, well, shape. So there's no proofing, no extra kneading. This is very simple. Yeah, it's not the traditional way of making sourdough, but it's just a healthier keto version. So people are saying that's not how you make sourdough. Well, trust me, I know that, but as I said, this is just the healthier, quicker version. Now, if we use the other flaxseed meal, it would have been a slightly darker, which is a bit more traditional, but again, that's up to you. You can use whichever one you want. I'm just going for as few carbs as possible. Okay, so once you've shaped it, we're just going to score it each way like so, and that's it. It really is that simple. So we're going to place this into a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for say 35 minutes. It can be up to 40 minutes, just depends on your oven, but basically at 35 minutes we're going to see if it's nice and golden brown on top, and basically when you tap it on top you're going to get like a hollow sound. And you should have a nice firm crust on the outside. And our bread is done. Oh, look at that. It looks fantastic, and I can tell you what, it smells fantastic too. So all we have to do now is just simply place it onto a wire rack to cool down to room temperature. Should take about 30 to 60 minutes. Okay, so it's completely cooled down, and it is a nice thick crust, but still slightly spongy, but it is also a dense bread. So just with a bread knife, just simply cut off your slices. And look how airy, but still thick and delicious this is, and it smells delicious too. So you can cut the slices thin or thick, it's completely up to you. And they toast fantastic as well. So you get that wonderful bread finish. Now you can have it as is, as a sandwich, or you can have it toasted. It works just as well. So as you can see, it is incredibly low in carbs, there's no sugar, and with the added flaxseed, it's actually high in protein because the flaxseed is very protein dense. So it really is a win-win situation. So you have that wonderful sourdough taste, but with about 1/10 of the guilt. It's the healthiest version of sourdough you can have. In moderation, of course. So just make sure you choose the right toppings. And you can also add some seeds to this if you like, it's completely optional. Put some butter, some cheese. Either way, it's going to taste simply delish. And please tap the link on the screen to my other keto recipes, and I'll also leave a link to my bread recipes too.